Welcome. We're just going to take a few minutes, like we usually do, to just let everyone start rolling in, give everyone time. Hi, Jen. I love to see that you're here like every week. It brings me so much joy. I just love going live so much. I was so sad when I didn't go live last week, but I'm hoping that there'll be no other changes this week or this month. So I'll keep everyone in the loop. So get nice and cozy. Settle on in, especially if you're going to be like working on a fun little crafty project. I'm surrounded by like all of my crafts right now. Yes, I'm so happy you're going to check her out. The whole threaded tails concept is like incredible in my opinion, and I'm like very happy that someone's combining Stitchalongs with like a book club, because we all have like tons of different hobbies. So okay, welcome. If anyone wants to say what they're working on, I would love to hear it. Even if you're not currently working on it, like at the same time as this live, I would just like love to know, because I love to look up all the fun patterns that everyone's working on. Okay, sounds good. See you in a few, Jen. Still waiting for your fabric. Where was it coming from again? It was coming from Europe, right? It was super far. When did you order it? Okay. It's been a couple minutes, so let's get into all the fun goodies. I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. I'm sorry I missed last week's live stream, but life has been like super chaotic and hectic over here. I posted about it a little bit on my stories, but basically I've just been like dealing with some stomach issues, and I went to urgent care, and then they ended up sending me to the ER and all this stuff, and then everything ended up being a-okay, fine and dandy, which is really good. So I am just like, mentally recovering from that whole experience now, because it was like super anxiety producing for me, but at least it's done and over with. And I just gotta, be positive and keep on going. But definitely I'm like someone who like overanalyzes myself and am like a constant Googler of all symptoms. So it's hard, but I'm trucking along. I'm doing good. So other than that, that's just like my biggest life update, I would say, is that like experience. So that's kind of why I haven't like posted a lot in the last like weekish, and I've been like kind of quiet on social media. Hi, Jen. Thanks for coming back in. So, yeah, just like having that like scary ER experience was not fun, but I am back. I'm feeling more positive. So, I'm like feeling more ready to be in front of the camera and stuff. So, I am doing good. So, yesterday I went to Rhinebeck for New York Sheep and Wool, which is like so fun. So I'm going to show you all like the fun goodies. Well, at least like some of the goodies I'm going to show today, because I am going to post a recap video of my whole New York Sheep and Wool experience, because this was my second time going. And if you're not into like any of the crochet and fiber art stuff, basically Rhinebeck is like yarn mecca. Like people come from all over the world to go to this yarn festival, and it's for a very good reason, because it's absolutely huge. It's ginormous. And Rhinebeck, New York is just like such a very like agriculturally dense area, and there's just, like, so much appreciation for, like, all things woolly and yarny and fiber arts related, so I had the best time. So I'm gonna show some of that stuff tonight, but I also kinda just wanted to go into my crafty progress and all the things I've kind of been working on for the past 2 weeks since the last live, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't, like, cross-stitched or done anything in the last, like, 2-ish weeks. I have, like, really taken on knitting. It has become, like, my whole personality. It's been everything I've thought about, and I'm, like, so excited for it because it's really kind of ignited my love with fiber art stuff again because I love crocheting, but when you crochet, it uses up so much more yarn, and when you're buying expensive yarn, it's kind of a bummer when you have to put, like, even more money into it, and not, like, get a super gigantic product, but knitting, the yarn goes a long way, and I've just been having a blast. So, I've been taking me and my mom and my sister-in-law have signed up for a year-long knitting class, and we just had our second class, which was amazing. So that means I finished my first block. So I'll kind of talk about what the blocks mean. So we're working out of this building blocks workbook, and it's from Scassell, I think is how you pronounce it. And it was written by Michelle Hunter from Knit Pearl Hunter. If you want to learn to knit, this book is like the Bible, I would say, in my opinion. It is incredible. There's tons and tons and tons of tutorial videos that also go along with this book. And basically, you work on a square each month, at least in my knitting class. And at the end of the 12 months, you'll have a whole blanket, and each square kind of practices and builds a new skill. So I'll show you my squares. This just makes me so happy. So I have my knitting class projects in my little what is it called? Home row handcraft project bag that I got in Salem at their like witchy yarn store, and it is so cute. I love it. And the yarn I'm using for my year-long blanket project, I'm using a like commercially milled yarn. So it's not hand dyed, it's a little bit cheaper, more cost effective. And it's Plymouth yarn in Encore Tweed. And the color is just 5539. I'm usually not like a super pink person, but I was just into like the pale pink vibes, and I loved like the tweed specs. And I just thought a lighter color yarn would be easier for me to see as I'm learning. So I've been using that, and I'll show you my first square. I can't believe I made this. So this is just basically like a super easy square that just has like a knit purl seed stitch, it's called, all around the border. And then you're just doing little variations of knitting and purling to get these like arrow-like effects. And Jen, I am using this yarn all year long. So you definitely have the option to do a multicolored project, but I just went with all one color because I kind of wanted to keep the cost of this project down as much as I could, especially since I'm learning. And if I do it all in one color, the teacher said I would be purchasing less little skeins of yarn than if I was doing it in a multicolored project. So I went with one color, and yeah, I just love this textured effect. Right now I just have it on these little things called like little stitch saver cables, and I haven't had a chance to bind off and like take it off the cable and like officially finish the block yet, but it's going to be coming soon. I was actually supposed to do it in my class, but I didn't want to take it off the cables. I don't know. I was just like not in the mood to do it in class. I wanted to work on the next block. So yeah, that's my first completed knitted block. I can't believe I did this. Like, this is something I've been wanting to do for years. like literal years. I've like picked it up on and off. I'll learn like the knit stitch and the purl stitch, and then I'll set it down and then I'll completely forget. But I think the classes for knitting are just like absolutely key. I found it so much easier to learn online for crochet, but in person, to have a teacher kind of look over your shoulder and see what you're doing and answering the questions that you have, like it just makes so much of a difference. And I mean, look at that. I love it. So that is block number 1 of my building blocks blanket. Literally all I had to know was long tail cast on, knit stitch, and purling. That's it. And then they teach you everything else. So Jen says, same, my best friend and I took a class at the library. Yes, look at your local library. Look at any local like Crafty stores or like yarn stores. There's so many great options, even like community centers or sometimes even events in a park. People will like set up and teach people how to like crochet or knit. Yeah, it's so much harder to learn online for knitting, I think. And I mean, I'm still like honestly slightly intimidated by knitting because I think it's harder to fix a mistake than crocheting, in my opinion. I don't know. My teacher taught me how to unknit, and I'll show you a specific project that I'm working on that I'll show you like the mistakes I've made and that I need to rip out. But I'm obsessed. And this has like really helped me mentally like get through this like little medical thing that I went through, because knitting has been like the one thing that's been calming my mind. And if I'm feeling anxious, I just sit down, I work with my hands, and I'm golden. And it's just been amazing. So it's definitely come into my life at the most perfect moment. So, yes, let's see. Jen says, but you have to catch the mistakes right away to really fix them right. Yes, that's what I've learned, because I asked my yarn teacher or my knitting teacher, and it's like so hard to like pull something out. I'll show in the next project, but I don't know. She taught me how to unknit, and when you're like unknitting in the same row that you're currently on, it's not so bad, especially with like this project's only like 48 stitches that you're casted on. But if you're like knitting in the round and you have like hundreds of stitches, that is impossible. So it's really, you have to like accept your mistakes and be okay with the imperfections, which is, part of making things handmade. But I don't know. I'm still learning. So I just started my second block, and I'll show you what that looks like. So for the first class, it was basically learning how to read a knitting pattern and do long tail cast on, knit, and purl. Super basic, super easy. I already know how to read patterns pretty well because I was crocheting for years and years before. But now the second class, we're learning how to read charts. And charts are like not my favorite thing ever. I don't even read charts when I crochet, really. It's just like intimidating to me, not my favorite, but it's always good to learn and expand our skills. So this is what we are learning for charts. This is the next block. So it's just another textured knit purl block with a seed stitch border. So it is easy, but we're just like following a chart to do the pattern instead of like reading the words of a pattern. So that is the next block. And I will show you. Let's see. Let's untangle these needles from my ball of yarn. It got a little messy. Just shoved in this project bag. So I basically have nothing. So I did the bottom seed stitch border, and then I'm almost done with the first like pattern repeat in the body with reading the chart. So you can kind of see a texture going on, but not that much. But it's fine. I'm still enjoying it, even though I'm not like loving reading a chart. It's good to learn. I don't do all that. I just straighten it. Yep. I love that. I do like knitting in the round too. I do have a project that I'll show that's just knitting in the round, and I love it. Make blankets and scarves and wraps. And oh, thank you so much for saying I'm doing amazing. I'm definitely a little knitter now, and I love it. And these are my little needle stoppers. It says, "Let's do this before my anxiety kicks in," and this is just perfect for this last week of my life. Well, I've been doing this to, like, mentally ground and, just feel a little bit calmer. And my favorite needles that I've found, and these were recommended to me by my local yarn store owner. I actually have the paper. So I use the Addy Scassel Rocket Squared needles. These are textured and like squared ergonomic knitting needles, and I love this because I'm someone who has like weak little baby wrists, and from many years of cheerleading and like doing stunts and stuff, so my wrists have been through it, and I'm very prone to tendonitis. So these are a dream. It makes knitting like so buttery and smooth, and like when I transitioned to these needles, like instantly the craft came to me. So I'm attributing it to just having real needles. And so you can see they're kind of textured. So even though they're metal and things like it's easier for yarn to slip off, the texture keeps it on. So it's incredible. And they have these like really sharp tapered edges, which again just makes the experience so nice. And I love it. I'm still like dabbling in other needle brands, but I think eventually this is what I'm going to invest in for interchangeable needles. But we'll see. We'll see. So that is my work on my yarn or on my knitting class. And again, this is going to be like a very knitting heavy live rather than cross stitch because I haven't done much cross stitch in the last month. It's just because yarn has like totally taken over my brain space and I'm so addicted to it. So I honestly haven't been putting much time in on working on my Stitchalong project, which is CD Pumpkin Cottage from Praiseworthy Stitches. But I still very much love cross stitch. But right now knitting is definitely like my focal point. So that's my knitting class project. Now I'm going to show you my other basic beginner knit that I am obsessed with. So once I like got the hang of knitting, doing that first block, I was like, okay, I need something a little bit different to give me some variety, but that's still easy enough that I can kind of like chill and veg out and zone out as I'm like doing it, but increase my skill just like an itty bitty bit. So that's where this project comes in. And I love this, and I'm honestly almost done with it. And I just have this in I believe this is a handmade project bag that my mom got somewhere. I took it from her, I don't know. But it says like an original CMH creation by Carol Hesselink. And I've been loving this for fall. It even has like a cute little design on the pocket on the inside. It's all like, I don't know, like fabric appliques. It's super fun. But let's get myself a little bit organized here now. I am working on the Lily of the Valley cowl by Moonlit Yarns. I forget her like actual name, but her hand-dyed yarn company is Moonlit Yarns. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. And her website, I believe she has it as well. Actually, I'll keep these stoppers on. And this is just a basic beginner cowl. And I'll show you this way, almost done. So this was just for me to learn how to knit in the round and kind of just increase my skills a little bit. And I did join 2 different balls of 50 grams of yarn. So I learned how to do that as well with this project. So still super easy, super beginner project level, but really, really fun. Really, really fun. So this is the cowl. It's just like a 2x2 rib that's going to be on the bottom, which I already did, and the top, and then just stockinette in the round. And I mean, the lighting's not super good right now, like being on a webcam, but I'm using yarn that I honestly didn't think I would really get around to using anytime soon. And I got this from Webs, which is like, I think the country's biggest yarn store. And they're located in Massachusetts. I forget what town, but when I used to live in Cape Cod, that yarn store is like the halfway point between where my apartment was in Cape Cod and like me coming here to visit home. And I love it. Every year they have a big, massive tent sale there where the yarn is like so discounted. Like you could literally get like a garbage bag full of yarn for like less than $100. So whenever it was a tent sale, I always made it a priority to go and visit. So I got this yarn. It's Lana Grossa Cool Merino print yarn, and it's 90% merino wool, 10% polyamide. And it is just like a super soft, squishy blue cloud. Like, oh, I love it. And honestly, what's bringing me even more joy is that I'm now finding purpose for yarn that's been sitting on my shelf that I haven't been using, and I now can have a wearable garment. And I just love blue. It's my favorite color, and it's such a pretty speckled color. This cowl, the pattern was actually made for um a specific type of yarn that this yarn dyer has. And I actually do have that yarn in my stash, but I didn't want to like I don't know, I didn't want to waste it on this just yet since I'm learning. I wanted to use yarn that was a little bit cheaper that I didn't care as much about, but I found now like a newfound love for it. So that is my Lily of the Valley cowl. And I have just been so obsessed. This will definitely be done by the live next week for sure, because I am almost done with like the stockinette in the round, and then I just have the rib and I'm done, baby. So I'm loving it. And aren't these little needle stoppers so cute? They're little tiny ghosts and little tiny beanies. And another thing like I've been loving with knitting, especially with projects that I'm just knitting in the round, you don't really see progress, like that much progress at once, is I love using little stitch markers as little progress keepers. So I just have this little iridescent, I think it's Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast. I got this from Fangirl Fibers. And I just place it in my first stitch that I make when I like sit down to knit. And then by the end of the time, like that I'm sitting down to stitch, I can look and see how much I've done. And it just makes it even more satisfying. And like these little charms are so cute. They're like little accessories for your projects. Like who doesn't want like a little jewelry on their project? It's just so much fun. Sam says, I'm watching this and chanting, I don't need another hobby. I don't need another hobby. Girl, you need another hobby because this is like, ugh, it's so nice. And it's so nice to have two crafts that you're like both equally passionate about, because when your hands are hurting from stitching, it's nice to like give them a different movement and motion with something else. So in my head, when I'm like fatigued, when my hands and muscles are fatigued from cross stitch, I'm like, oh, that's okay. I can move to like yarn or crochet, and that'll help me with like that like tendonitis and burnout and stuff. Jen says, oh, that is so cool. What a great idea to track your progress. I know. I saw Molly from A Homespun House. I'm subscribed to her Patreon, and it is like one of my favorite things ever. She posts like so many incredible like knitting vlogs, and she has a whole like hand-dyed yarn business. And I'm just like so fascinated with her life, and she lives in Germany with her family, and she uses progress keepers all the time, and she has like really cute clay ones that are shaped like little foods, and oh my gosh, I want to buy like all of them on Etsy, but they can be a little pricey because they are like little miniatures and they're made with clay, so they are a little hard to make. So sometimes I'm like, ugh, should I spend $15 on one stitch marker? But then, like, when you need a little mental health gift and you just like start filling your cart up and you're like, ooh, I'm gonna buy them all immediately. So those are the little progress keeper things that I've just been like so into. I feel like when you find a new craft or hobby, like all you want to do is just accumulate all the fun things with it, like the little notions that you can get and like cute stitch markers and progress keepers. And even like these little stitch stopper things, like, oh God, I'm addicted. I'm addicted. I don't think I have the ones next to me that I got at Rhinebeck, but you'll see them in my Rhinebeck video. I got so many cute little notions for knitting. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to share them. So this is my super basic beginner cowl. I would say if you have like no knitting experience whatsoever, this is like an amazing project to start with. In my opinion, I mean, I am not an expert. I've only been doing it for like 2 months, but this is literally just knitting and purling and then casting on. So, Sam, if you want to get a new hobby, do this cowl. I'll send it to you. Like, I'll send you the link to the pattern because this is, it's addicting. It is very addicting. So last but not least, as far as projects go, I will show you the last project that I've just been dabbling in, and this is honestly my saddest one right now. And it wasn't sad before, but I made a mistake, and I'll show you. So I am doing, I didn't bring the book down here, but I've said in the past that one of the whole reasons why I learned to knit and that I'm learning to knit is because I am like so into color work socks. Like I've seen so many Instagram photos, and like there's a designer I really like called Stone Knits, and she designs literally the cutest color work socks. And it is my life's goal right now to be able to make a pair of these socks. So even though I'm like totally new and socks are a little intimidating and like a tiny bit hard for a beginner, I was like, I'm going to go for it and try making some. Again, I'm using yarn that is not as expensive. I also got it from the tent sale at Webb's because I do have like really pretty fun sock sets that I've been accumulating over the years. Like you can crochet socks, but it doesn't hit like a knit sock in my opinion. So they've kind of been living on my shelf waiting for the moment that I know to knit. And I figured I would do a tester sock. So I'm using this, I mean, it doesn't look so pretty right now, but like an ombre little yarn cake. And it's the Blossom Cakes from Wonderland Yarns. I believe this is a hand-dyed yarn company in Vermont, which is cool because I used to live in Vermont as well. So I'm attempting to make like a super basic vanilla sock, and I believe it's called the Socksploration sock by Earth Tone Knits or Earth Tone Girl. She has a whole book. I have it posted on my Instagram story, a picture, or on my Instagram feed of like my page of the book. So it's in that book. I highly recommend that if you're like wanting to learn how to knit socks. But you can see I made a mistake. I tried to rip it out. And immediately I went into SOS emergency mode and I brought it to my yarn class and I asked my teacher for help. So I did the rib. The rib was easy because I've already knit in the round with my cowl project and I've done knit and purls. So that wasn't bad. It's just a 2x2 rib, 2 knits, 2 purls. That was fine and dandy. Then you're knitting the stockinette, blah, 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 like knitting in the round, just all the way down. I did all the rows I wanted to do for that. And then I got to the heel. And the heel was a little confusing. And especially since there's like not a video, you know, because it's a book. And I think I was doing a German short row heel, or no, it was a shadow wrap heel. And I messed up in the second row of it, and I made a lot of mistakes, and I tried to I took my needles out, I frogged a couple of rows, tried to put my needles back in, did not work. Did not work. So my yarn teacher actually, or I keep calling her my yarn teacher, my knitting teacher actually said, I just take a tinier needle. So I'm using little shorty circular needles. These are US 1.5s. And so she said, take a US 1 and just go to a row that you want to go to and just kind of weave it in and out through the right loop of each knit stitch. I mean, it's going to be hard to see in the webcam right now, but she said just weave it in and out of each right loop of the row that you want, and then you just frog it down to the needles, and then you can just continue on. So of course, change your needles back to the original needles, with a stitch saver or something. But that's what I'm going to try to do to fix this, because I really don't want to completely have to rip it out. But if I have to, it's no biggie. This again was just my tester sock. Not the end of the world. This is a couple hours of work, but I'll survive if I have to rip it out. And again, I'm just marking my beginning of round with a cute little charm. I didn't I thought I was going to have to use a stitch marker that was tinier because, you know, these are such tiny little needles. And the only thing I had was a little charm pack from Hobby Lobby. And they work perfect for stitch markers, or if you want to get fun progress keepers, but you don't want to pay the premium price for a handmade one, just go to your local craft store or order online some cute charms, and you can put a little lobster clasp on them, or if you're just using them as a plain stitch marker, just use the circle finding. But then you have literally a whole pack of super cute progress keepers for probably the same price as just one little progress keeper that you're gonna buy online. So that's kind of my tip and my words of advice. So it's just a cutie little flower. Let's see. Jen, those double pointed needles are horrible. I haven't tried using them yet, but I know if you knit socks in the round with 9-inch circulars that you have to do your toe with another method. And I did buy DPNs to do that, but I have not tried them yet. I'm still figuring out what I like, and I'm just kind of, breezing my way through it. Since I've used circulars, I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with using them. I'll try it out for the sock. But I know you can use the DPNs, magic loop. You could use 2 circular needles. At least that's what the book says. But I have not working the courage up to do magic loop yet. But we'll see. Oh, thank you so much. I'm really trying my hardest. I really want to make a pair of socks, and I'm determined to try to do that by the end of the year. So I think this was a good first attempt. Definitely going to try to do that little needle trick that my knitting instructor told me, so that hopefully I can save and salvage it. Because I feel like if I just rip this out, I'm going to say screw it and take some of my pretty yarn and just go for it and see what happens. And then maybe I'll do a little gradient Sophie scarf or something with this, because I am just wanting something new. My teacher wouldn't teach the round technique for socks, only DPNs. See, the DPNs kind of scare me, because then you're working with 3 or 4 needles. And I'm like, if I'm learning all these new techniques and stuff with my sock. And then I have to keep track of all of those needles at the same time as a beginner. It's a little scary for me. But yeah, that is my my progress and everything that I've worked on in the last 2 weeks since I have been on live. Now, I haven't filmed like a floss tube in probably over a month. I have a lot of things that I could show. And I'm hoping this week I'll definitely have like the pep and like the ability to sit and film. I was doing Vlogtober, and then when everything kind of just happened, I was like, I don't want to ruin people's spirit of the holidays right now. So I'm gonna hold off on the vlogging. But since I'm in a better mood, I am definitely going to start filming again and doing all the things. And it's literally only been like a week and a half, but I like making videos and stuff has been my favorite parts of my week since I've started this, which I think I started in March, like just before my birthday. So it feels like a big empty gap in my schedule and in my like everyday life because I haven't been spending the time or having like the mental time to sit and do everything. So, I'm excited to get back into it because it's another creative outlet that I absolutely love. So, I'm glad I was able to use, my hands through this like more stressful time and like mentally overwhelming little short burst in my life. But yeah, that's where you really see the importance of like having your hobbies and like the art that you enjoy doing in your crafts because it really is therapy. And like my brain is just totally mentally clear and quiet when I do it. And it's the only time of day where it is like that. So I highly recommend when you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling mentally tired, to let it all out with your hands and like do something that you're really passionate about and that you love, whether it's like stitching or something fiber arts related or something totally different. Get your hands working, get your hands moving, get out of your head into your hands. That's my biggest advice and my biggest takeaway from this last week or so. So that's all the projects. Again, I have not worked on much cross stitch, but I'm definitely feeling that little cross stitch bug coming back. It's so funny because I've been like all of September, I was so into like Halloween and the spookiness and all of that. And now I'm just like so in the like cozy Christmas mood, like something warming and uplifting. And I don't know. I'm just like so in the Christmas vibe. I feel bad because I'm doing a Halloween stitch along, but in my head I've like totally bypassed Halloween and I am now in, full Christmas movie mode. I just like want to watch all the movies, want to watch all the Hallmark films and just like work on Christmas sock sets. That's basically it. Jen says, "What is your mom making?" Do you mean like what is my mom making in our knitting class or just in general? Because she's doing a bunch of things too. What do you mean? So I guess I'll go into some of my purchases. I think I started too early and burned out. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get it. So I'll go into what I've purchased from Rhinebeck, which was yesterday. I'm very lucky that I only live like less than 2.5 hours away from Rhinebeck, which is where they do New York Sheep and Wool Festival, which it just feels like such a little, I don't know, like such a little treat that I live so close and I don't have to travel so far to go because so many people, it's like something that a lot of people like really, really want to go to. Yes, knitting. My mom with doing the knitting, she is doing the same thing as me with the building blocks class. She's only working on this right now. So that's the only thing she's working on, but she did get a lot of things at Rhinebeck as well. Honestly, she got way more than me, which I'm surprised. But again, I'm not surprised because she's a hobby collector. She likes to call herself a hobby hoe. So she got a lot at Rhinebeck. So I'll show that in my Rhinebeck recap everything that I got and everything that she got. So that's going to be like a special little treat because it is a lot of good stuff. So, I'll start off with something really fun, which is a little project bag, and it is from Stitched by Jessalu, and it's this super cute fox project bag. I knew I wanted to get a project bag when I went, but I knew I wanted to have like a sock size project bag because I don't really have a ton of like smaller bags. So I have gotten in the past bags from Stitched by Jessalu. In my Adirondack Woolen Arts Festival video, you'll see, I think that's where I got it. Where did I get it? I think it was there. I'm like totally blanking because I've been to so many like craft fairs and things in the last like couple months, but I think I got the bag there. And I knew I wanted to get another bag from her when I saw she was going to be there. So it is, again, the cutest frog bag or frog box bag. And this is her tall wedge bag. This was $40. I'm unsure if she sells online, but check out her. She does have a website, so I'm sure she sells online. But she does a lot of um craft fairs. She goes all over the country, I believe. Okay, Jen, my mom commented in the chat saying, "I'm a knitter now. I'm not just a collector." LOL. Thank you very much. Yes, she is. She is a knitter now. She is. So yeah, this is my fox bag, and the print is so cute. I just looked at the print on the inside today, and look at how cute that is. Look how cute that is. It's like cute little lily of the valleys or something, but they're pink. I don't know. I love them. So that's the project bag I got. So I did accomplish my goal with getting a little sock bag. And this could definitely fit like a smaller like hat or like a little scarf, like one of those little mini like Sophie scarflet type of projects. It's still a pretty good size. So that's my bag I got. Now, I'll show this kit. So I said I was into color work, and that's another goal of mine with knitting is to do color work because there's so many incredible color work patterns, and they're like so kitschy and novelty, and like if you know me, like I'm very much into like, I don't want to say tacky, but I want to say like eclectic and fun. Like literally I'm wearing a sweater with ghosts and bats and pumpkins. Like I just love a novelty clothing item, and I feel like I can really customize and get that with color work. And if you don't know anything about knitting, there is a brand they're called Pacific Knit Co. And they do these fun little card decks and books and things that are called Doodle decks. And they basically just have these like little graph charts of all these fun, different themed color work charts that you can make a million different things with. And they're all like super themed to like niche things like camping and like animals and I don't know, all those things. So this is a kit that I got for this cute little cowl with like little sheep, and this uses the Rhinebeck expansion deck, I guess, one of the doodle decks. And yeah, I didn't read this and it didn't come that it didn't come with the pattern. I would have bought the doodle deck from the yarn store like booth when I was there, but I was just so excited. It was one of the first booths I went to and I instantly was like, I need this. So I just immediately picked it up. So this was the little sheep cowl. So it comes with everything you need to make it. And I really like that this was a kit because if I were to buy like full skeins of all of these colors, it would be a lot more expensive than what I paid for the kit, which was just $40. So I'm very happy with that. And this is all like hand-dyed wool. I got this from Cece's Wool, I believe. And I'm obsessed. This like main base color is so pretty. It's like a variegated greenish blue. It's just lovely. So I'm very happy I was able to get something that was kitted for the doodles, the doodle decks. And I'm excited to have this be my first little introduction into it. And yes, my mom did buy the same one as me. So we're going to have two little sheep doodle cowls. We'll see if she does hers, but we can match when she eventually does. We'll see how much they look like sheep at the end of it. But it'll be fun. So I got that and I love it. Now, another one of my favorite vendors that I see at Rhinebeck, and I believe I only ever see them at Rhinebeck. I don't think I've seen them at any other New England festivals, at least the larger ones near me. And I knew I wanted to purchase from them. And that's Dragonfly fibers and Canon hand dyes. So last year when I went to Rhinebeck, I got these really cute, they're called baby cake packs. And they're $40 and you get, what's it, 3, 6, 9, 12 little 10-gram skeins of these cute little baby cakes. And I love variegated yarn, and it's also like some of them are sparkly. Like you can tell a little bit in that brown one that it has like the stellina like woven into it. But I like really want to do a mitered square like cozy memories blanket, and these are perfect for that because you're getting the 10 grams that you need and you can play around with all the fun yarn. So that's 12 different colors of yarn that can go into my blanket. So I got this one last year. And I also got this one as well. So just some different ones. And again, a lot of these have iridescence in them, like this one does. Oh, I'm just so obsessed. So I knew I wanted to get another pack of those this year. I went with colors that are a little bit lighter, but again, very similar. So this is the pack that I got this year. That's the little label, Dragonfly. Oh, I love them. All fingering weight. And then they also had these. They did not have these the year before, I don't think. And this is like where I went a little crazy with the spending because, I needed some mental health gifts after the week that I had. And I couldn't like choose between the two of them. So they had these giant kits of the hand-dyed mini skeins. So these are a full 20-gram mini skeins, and they were themed like after different things. Like they were little curated collections. Like they had all different ones for like the different eras of Taylor Swift and like all different themes like that. They even had like a Richard Scarry themed little mini skein set, which is like, I don't know, is it like a illustrated author from the 80s? I remember like my mom would have me read the Richard Scarry, like that big yellow book. But I just thought that was cool. So this one is called The Fae. And I mean, this was a little pricey. This was $95. But I mean, I was just so obsessed. I couldn't not get this. And then when I saw the other one, I was like, okay, I'm already in it. I drove all the way here. I'm only here once a year, and I usually save like all my yarn purchases pretty much for like Fiber Festival season because I just love to like find new dyers and get my hands on the yarn and like I don't know. I like to do it in person. So this is the Fae. They had a lot of like Court of Thorns and Roses curated collections, which is like one of my favorite book series. So had to get that. And this like you can't really tell in the packaging, but the purple and green combo, oh, incredible. So that was the Fae. And then this one is Naughty Fairies. So again, similar colors, but a little lighter like colors and variegation. I'll show you the back. Stunning. And I also got with these, it was a like a project card, and there was like over a dozen different patterns that you can do with 12, 20 gram mini skeins. So if you were just kind of like looking at all the colors and were into it but didn't know what to make, they got you covered. So I like last night when I got home, I like went through and like saved a bunch on Ravelry that I really like that I want to make with these. And I love it. I love it. So that was everything I got from Dragonfly Fibers and Canon hand dyes. And then I'll just show the last couple like actual yarn skeins. Again, I got so many other little like bits and bobs. They're upstairs, so I'll show them in my recap and haul video. My mom wrote in here, talk about the buttons. LOL. I black out when I go to the hand painted pottery buttons section. I got a lot of cute things from them, so that'll be in the video. But as far as yarn, I also was able to see Bumblebee Acres Farm in person, in the flesh, which is nice because I believe they're from the Midwest. They're the company that I get my Disney subscription yarn from each month. Again, they have so many like niche and like pop culture kind of like yarns. Like they do Disney, they do Lord of the Rings, they have like they had their like K-pop Demon Hunters and Studio Ghibli and Outlander, like all if you could think of it, they probably have it or have had it. So I got 2 skeins of yarn that I'm going to use to make a pattern that they specifically have. I believe it's called the Gathering Shawl. I don't have it with me, but I'm gonna make their pattern, and I got 2 skeins of yarn from their Pride and Prejudice collection, which is I feel like the Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice movie is I don't know, probably my top movie of all time. I've seen it a thousand times. I'm obsessed with Pride and Prejudice. So this one is Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy. So just like super fun spring. It was giving me like spring fairy vibes, like a variegated pink, purple, green. I love it. And then as the contrast color, I'm doing a lighter contrast with the shawl because it requires 2. This one's called the Miss Bennet's. And it's just a like a creamy marshmallowy color with like very light variegation, like very, very subtle of pinks, greens, blues. So it really goes well with this. And I'm very excited to use this in their shawl. And again, because I'm new to knitting, I did not realize like how little you need to make like this was like a big shawl. Like I was wearing my crocheted mushroom colorway shawl, and that took me like 3 skeins, and it's not even as big as I wanted it to be, but I didn't want to, spend more than $100 for just a shawl. And this only uses 2, so this is 2 fingering weights. This is on their Coquette sock base, so it's not as soft as I would say as their other bases. It's just like a little bit more rustic, a little bit more durable. It'll hold the shape a little bit more than like those super soft drapey like fabrics that it would create. Like this is a Cordell wool. So if you know anything about yarn, and it's super wash, so you can kind of get the vibe. And then the last thing that I got as far as yarn skeins, I don't think I got any others. I don't think I have any more hiding upstairs. What is the name of the shawl? The shawl is called the Gathering Shawl. I can message it to you on Instagram. It should be on their page. Let me look. Bumblebee Acres Farm. They should have their patterns. Bumblebee Acres Farm. Oh yeah, let's see. I think they have it on Ravelry. That's what it is. Let's see. Please. Yes, I'll send it to you because they have a Ravelry page. So I'm sure it's all on there. I mean, they have a good amount of patterns. Oh yeah, like they had the Romanticy shawl. That was at the fair. Here it is. I found the picture. So this is a picture of what the shawl is going to look like. So you only need 2 skeins of fingering weight. And again, I am doing these 2. So that's kind of what it'll look like with, if you can visualize it. It looks like pretty easy, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I'll send this to you, Jen, after this. It's $7 for the pattern. And yeah, I'm just super excited to dip my toes into another knitting project. But the last skein of yarn that I got is from a new to me dyer. Who dyed this? Oh, this was from Herd of Cats, which if you're like in the fiber arts like festival kind of worlds, like I've seen them a bunch on other videos, but they dye yarn for, like, they go to a shelter and they take pictures of animals that are in the shelter. So they'll either do like dogs, like a pack like this for dogs, or a pack like this for cats, but it's like mini skeins, and each skein is dyed after a specific cat that's in the shelter or a specific dog, and it'll have like all the pictures of each animal that it's inspired off of, and then like I think 10% of the proceeds go to like that specific shelter, which is a really cool idea. So like half their booth was that, like all of the shelter cat and dog like mini skein packs, and then half of it was their road trip collection. And all of this is dyed in Denver, Colorado. So again, the shelter animals yarn is also inspired by the cats and dogs in Colorado. But this was their show colorway, which that means like the color that dyer specifically dyed for that show. So like an inspiration for the show. And it's called the 2025 Road Trip to Rhinebeck. Now, I don't know if it has like a little description on the inside. No, I don't see that it does. But this is just their sock weight, I believe. Yeah, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Yeah, it's just their sock yarn. And it's just a really pretty, like, mermaidy kind of a color palette. It's very pretty with, like, the pink speckles and things. And there's, like, a little bit of green and the dark blues and the light blues. I'm just really excited. I think this was the only show colorway that I got from the whole, like, Rhinebeck. Like, each booth, like, I think almost every booth had their own show colorway. So it's hard not to, like, just buy a million just because it's, like, an exclusive. But I tried to hold myself back a little bit. So that was the show colorway I got. And, oh, I have one more thing that isn't, like, knitting related, but it is, I don't know what you would call this, like wool applique kits are kind of like a Bucilla kit, but this is more like primitive. And this is from Primitive Gatherings. I have a couple kits from them and I'm obsessed. It's the Greener Pastures table mat. This was $50 and it is just so cute. It's a pretty good size little like oval shaped table mat. And it has all these cutesy little sheep. I mean, the center color of it, I mean, you can't really tell in the bag, but it's a super pretty like sky variegated or like mottled blue. So it looks like clouds. And then with the willow trees, it's just so cute. I have a couple. Yes, my mom got me this. Thank you, Mom, for sharing. Yeah, now that lost my train of thought. But yeah, I have a couple kits from them. I have yet to do one, but this is something that you cut out all the pieces yourself. So again, we'll see if the sheep end up looking like sheep at the end, but it should be pretty straightforward. And then you basically just like sew all the appliques that you cut out. I'm excited. I'm very excited. There's a lot of really cute holiday ones that she has, and she has like all these models like set up in her booth, and it's hard not to like be mesmerized by them and want them all and like decorate your whole house in them, because especially if you like primitive like aesthetic and things, like this is right up your alley then. So that is the only other thing I have down here. I did get a bunch more, and again, I'll show all my mom's stuff, which is a lot. So that's going to be a really good haul, and that'll be in my Rhinebeck recap video. It'll mostly be a haul basically, and I'll just talk a bit about my like Rhinebeck experience and put a little bit of clips and some pictures. I wanted to make a full vlog, but the crowds that are there are just so dense. Like, it's literally worse than Disney. Like, I would rather walk through the crowd at fireworks at at Disney than some of the crowds in the barn there. Like, it is just so dense, and you are like fighting for yarn basically. Like, when I went 2 years ago, the crowds were atrocious. This year was a little better, but I remember like this really popular dyer, which is Junction Fiber Mill, which is a Vermont brand. They're like so super popular on social media, and they posted about a show colorway that they had, and it was apple cider donuts, and it was in the first barn I went into, and people were literally like, it was like those Black Friday videos that you see on TV, like arms were just like, people were just grabbing handfuls, and sometimes like you get the courage to like work up and get into the booths and like really fight your way through, but sometimes, yeah, you're not doing it. And so that's why it's kind of hard to vlog when you're there, because there's just so many people and so many people are trying to get into these booths that I feel like people would be very annoyed if I like took out my camera and was like panning through everything and filming little things, because yeah, the time would be wasted. So I didn't do the vlog, but I will do a recap and put little like pictures and bits and things in it. But yeah, that is everything that I have. And yeah, we've been on for a little bit over an hour. So is there anything anyone else wants to say? Tell me what you're working on, what plans you did over the weekend. Because I've just been hanging out all day and relaxing. I have like a pretty busy week this week coming. I have a good amount of work I need to do for like my actual job. I'm going to be finishing my orientation / onboarding period like at the end of this month. So since I've been like sick, I haven't spent as much time on it that I wanted to. So this week's going to be pretty heavy work wise. And then I definitely want to like get back into social media stuff and a bunch of appointments I have to go to this week. So yeah. Jen says, still waiting on the fabric to arrive. So I've been knitting a blanket for my daughter. Oh, that's so nice. I love that. I hope you get your fabric soon. this is crazy that it's waiting. I wonder if, because I think you said it was overseas that it was coming from. I wonder if, like, with the tariff holdup and stuff, because I know some things have been, like, kept at customs for a bit. I wonder if that's affected it at all. Um, I don't know. I know some people have been having problems with that. But other than that, I also two little things. Like I said in my, I think I said in my last vlog or my last live, I am going to be going to StitchCon 2026. Right now I'm currently signed up for weekend B. I am trying to get my mom and I switched to weekend A. I'm hoping a lot of people that I know are going to be going for weekend A. So I'm hoping I can switch and then I can meet up with some of my Instagram friends. Because everyone who's messaged me that has said that they're going to weekend A. So I'm going to try to switch. And what was the other thing? The other thing just totally like flew out of my brain. It's that time of night. And I don't know. There was one other thing though. I have my Salem video that I can't believe I still haven't posted Salem part 2. What's been holding me back is that I still need to film like my ending recap. Like I have my experience with the medium that I wanted to talk about and like show the last little things that I got and then close the video out. So I think that's really what's been holding me back because I haven't had time to like sit and film it. So hopefully that'll be out soon. Another floss tube full update will be out. I really did enjoy filming the Vlogtober videos. They are on a pause for right now. I will maybe try to do a weekly vlog this week coming. We'll see. I enjoyed doing the first one and I like the vibe of making a video that's very much like I don't know what you would call it, like just relaxing background to like your crafting. I really enjoy that. I don't know, like you can pay attention as much as you want, or you just have it in the background and you're just hanging out and it's like a cozy, fun little video. So that's kind of what more the vibe rather than like straight vlog where I'm like talking and chatting and like updating all the time. But yeah, that'll be coming. We'll see. But yeah, I think that's everything I have. Let's see. I want to make a cardigan like you crocheted. I love it. I've gotten so many compliments on it. It is so easy. That's another thing I can send you on Instagram, Jen. I think I can't remember if I used a specific pattern for that or if it was just a YouTube tutorial. But I think it was the hexagon granny cardigan YouTube tutorial from Passion Knit. So it's like PASSIO knit. And it was so super easy, like so easy. I mean, I have like larger measurements, like I can do like an XL to a 2X. So it takes me a little bit more time to like crochet it, but my sister-in-law who's like has smaller size than me, she made hers in like 2 weeks. She cranked that puppy out where it took me like a month. So they're very, very fast to crochet. So I would, if you make one, let me know. I would love. A couple people tell me and like send me pictures that made one. Someone put it in their YouTube video and it was like one of the first times I was mentioned in a video, and the fact that they made like a very similar sweater to me, like with the daisies, and it made me so happy. I am your size and I love the way it fit you. Yeah, I did like a very oversized fit for it. It's definitely a little bit bigger, I would say, than I was going for. But I think bringing in the bubble sleeves, like I did like the cuff sleeve, that really helped give it a little bit more shape, I would say, instead of just like totally drowning me, because I do like an oversized object, but just bringing it in the cuffs really helped. But yeah, I I love when I see that people have made, like, or look at, like, the yarn that I used for it, which I love to use the Karen cotton cakes, or really any of the Karen Cakes brand. I love that it's, like, a super luxe, like, acrylic blend yarn. It is mixed with natural fiber, so it's super soft, but it's at such a good price, and you get so much good yardage for one cake. So when you're crocheting something and you're using more of the, like, hand dyed, it's just it's expensive. It's expensive. But for some reason in my head, I can justify spending, like, $150 for yarn to make a garment that, it may or may not fit me right, but if I were to go in a store and, like, see a sweater for $150, it would, like, take a little bit of courage for me to, like, make the decision to buy it. So, it's just so funny. Like, you'll buy, like, hundreds of dollars of in materials, but when you're, like, buy the actual thing, you're like, "Ugh, I don't wanna buy that, that's too expensive." But yeah, that's everything I have for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed. So next live will be next Sunday. Let me look at my calendar. So it'll be next Sunday, 7 p.m. So that'll be the last, like, Crafty Coven live for this stitch along. I do have a stitch along plan for November. I'm gonna have to probably film that video and release it this week to announce it. But I will also have I haven't announced it yet on my Instagram, a virtual little pre-Halloween party where you can, hang out with me on live and do, like, some spooky stitching, get in that, like, fun Halloween mood. I'll, like, dress up as a witch or something, because we're the Stitch Witches. That'll probably be on the Thursday before Halloween, so the 30th. And so I'll put that on my Instagram and announce the details. Jen says, how many cakes did it take me? Ooh, that's a good question. Probably 3 or 4? I'm thinking maybe 3. I'm thinking 3. No, maybe 4, because I think I purchased 3, and then I had to go on eBay and buy more because it's a discontinued colorway. So, yeah, I'm thinking 4. 3 or 4. Depends how long you want it. I made mine pretty long, so I, like, put extra yardage on the bottom. But, yeah, when you're using the Karen Cakes Michael's yarn, I'm looking at it. That's why I'm, like, turning my head. But, it goes by fast, like, or it's very cheap, and it's easy to come by. It's pretty accessible. Like, every Michael's typically has, like, all the colors, I would say. Like, I always see the cotton cakes, and, like, I also love the blossom cakes. That's, like, a super soft Karen cake yarn. I'm trying to think what else I have. I also have, like, the tea cakes, and they have, like, party cakes. I just, like, love that name. I love it. So, yeah. That is that. I think I'm gonna go now because it's been an hour and 13 minutes. It's past 8. I'm ready to relax on the couch. So I hope you guys enjoyed. It's always a blast to go live. I should really, like, would you guys be into, like, little sporadic surprise lives throughout the week? It's just, like, a fun little mood booster for me. It's just so fun. So I hope you guys have a good week. Hope you go into the Monday strong and calm. And remember, if you're feeling stressed, take out your projects, work with your hands, and you'll feel much better after that. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. And I'll see you in the next one. And remember, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is at thistleandthread with 2 Ds at the end for all, like, in real time updates that I post. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. I hope you have the best night ever. Bye.